Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another lovely, amazing episode of the Superpower Hours with the Next Gen Racing League. I'm your host, as always, Joshua Temple. I am joined by my colleagues and a plus one. He is going to be a show regular from here on out, so it is very nice to have him. But first things first, gotta rep who's been here. Welcome back to episode 11. Nep, welcome back to a wonderful episode.
Well, thank you, Josh. Been a boring week, but glad to be back.
It was pretty goddamn boring until last night, but we're gonna
Until
get
last
in there.
night, yes.
Exactly. We're gonna get in there shortly. But also I'm joined by, as you can see, Shiesty. Shiesty, welcome back finally.
Brother, it's been like 1 week.
Exactly. 1 week's long enough, dude. But we're glad to have
Yeah,
you back.
yeah.
I will note we did hit the fucking to be continued last week without them.
Yeah, it's true. So you're the fucking
Fuck.
problem. Yep.
Well, glad to know I'm the problem.
Thanks. Thanks. Let's keep it that way. And as you see, looks like he's sitting in my lap right now. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. You guys figure it out. Big Mike. Big Mike, welcome to being a regular. How does it feel to be on the show, bud?
Feels hard right now, but it's
Hey,
great.
yo. Let's.
Glad to have.
We
Glad
did
y'all laughing.
turn.
Bad wording.
We did.
Bad wording.
Hey, it's hard right on Josh's lap, I guess. Shit.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Couldn't afford that third chair.
I work out a lot. Them legs are fucking stiff. Oh, man. But, Mike, we're glad to have you. We'll get into your segment here in a few when we do the lookovers. But as everyone knows, and of course, if you're watching this and you're part of the league, you know what everything that's transpired over the last 24-ish hours. A lot of shit talking back and forth, a lot of stuff not making sense to a lot of people, and calling out. So we're gonna cover all that today. And I'm gonna be on my best behavior. I'm not. So just be prepared. And just to give you guys a heads up, again, if you're part of the league and you saw any messages that were posted, I am not here to rip the league apart. I'm here to find justice for stuff that's been going on and to talk about it and bring stuff to light. That's all I'm doing. I ain't trying to rip shit apart. Sorry, not me. You got the wrong person. Anywho, here we go. Here's our four lovely segments of the show. We're starting with a whip them with the cold hard facts. I'm gonna be enjoying that one. Then you got normal Nips weekly race report. Shiesty's Eagle Eye with a little bit of a makeover this week. He went with a beautiful beach theme, and as you can see, we're all pretty sexy there. And then last but not least, Mike is entering with a new segment, which is going to be Mike's Track Attack. Mike, give them a little bit of a touch up on what your segment's going to be about.
I'll be going basically over the tracks that we're running and the miles. The laps of how each race.
Yeah, pretty much basically going over what's coming to us. And he'll have some interesting information. But yeah, hang on tight. It's going to be a fun one. But without further ado, I'm going to have you guys be involved in this the whole time as well. Because a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about, we all have feelings on it. And here are four different people in here discussing what's going on with stuff to do with the league, so on and so forth. Again, we're not ripping fucking something and tearing it apart. Sorry, got the wrong fucking person. Grow up. Here we go. Whip them with the cold hard facts. All right. So, hi everybody. I'm coming off normal, not coming off as a dickhead, not coming off as an asshole. A lot of stuff has transpired over the last 24-ish hours. Some stuff that makes sense that could also possibly not be true. I don't know personally, but I voiced my opinion. People don't like my opinion. Oh well, I don't give a flying fuck. That's how it's gonna be. Um, Something happened within the league a couple weeks back, pushing dates back. Which okay, that's fine. Whatever, it is what it is. And then we went from pushing dates back to adding a race and pushing dates back again. So right there, something doesn't really make sense. So the long story short, something that transpired is what seems to have happened. And Trickle, I am talking directly to you. What happened was nobody else was involved in making a decision. You guys have this whole leg out involved with the league to talk about things and make decisions, and they weren't even notified of what transpired or even told why it was happening. All we were told was people are going to be going on vacation soon because spring break's coming up, and little does everyone know, about half to 3/4 of the league aren't on spring break yet, and we have all for the next 2 weeks. But that's besides the point. Um, and the fact that it pushes back racing, I believe it was 2 weeks. I know Samo brought that to light because I know he has to make sure his stuff's scheduled beforehand, all that crap. Of course, a couple other people too. A lot of people enjoy the racing, so they plan around it. And for stuff to continuously change, my advice to that, and again, this is not me being a fucking dick, my advice to that is don't change anything before the next season. Um, Changing stuff too much is going to make people draw out of this damn thing. Again, I know how it goes. I ran a goddamn league for 5 full seasons, and that was just over 3 years total. 5 full seasons we ran, and we were a quarter of the way into season 6, and then I said fuck it and dropped it like it was a bad habit. So that's where we're getting at here. There wasn't really any communication going on. It got past people that was supposed to be brought up to, and it just got implemented.
Well, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I mean, if we're being honest, originally when the committee was made and all that, there was an order of change of how things would go. Ideals would come up to the committee. They would sit there, talk it over, put it to a vote, and if it passed with the committee, then it would go up to upper management, and then they would have the deciding vote. And somewhere along the line, and there's 2 committee members in here right now that could speak up on it. Somewhere along the line, it just went from discussing with committee first to just certain people just throwing out ideals, and that's pretty much what was ran with.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it wasn't even mentioned in the committee chat that we were going to be taking a break for spring break. And honestly, I thought that's what All-Star Week was for, was the spring break. But nothing was said in the chat to the committee members, nothing that I heard of. The only thing I seen was the report, hey, we're not racing this week.
And, the idea of taking the week off because, people involved was not going to be in town, was going to be on spring break, whatever the case may be. I get that. But here's the thing. At the beginning of the season, it was made clear that's why we had the hot seats and all that. And I know a couple times Rowdy was not able to make it. He appointed a hot seat. NASCAR wasn't able to make a race. He appointed a hot seat driver that he pulled up from Xfinity. And that was the whole purpose in the hot seat, is so that the team themselves, that person would come up and their points would help out with the team points. So it's one of those things. It's confusing because I get things come up in our personal life outside of the league and all. But if in the past, if somebody couldn't make the race, they either did a starting park for the race, or they would get with their team owner, and the team owner would just do a call up to fill that spot. So, because that person was going to miss the race, understandable. So I was confused myself as to why all of a suddenly, and I think it could have been handled a lot different. One thing that could have been said was, hey, we've been running hard since the season started. We got the All-Star race coming up. So what we're going to do is, think it's best for the league. We just take a break. We take a week off break, recuperate next week with the All-Star race, and then really pound out the rest of the season. And I think that's where the turmoil came in, is because it wasn't worded like that. It was worded as, oh, well, this person can't make it because of spring break, so we're going to take the week off. So it was kind of, the wording, in my opinion, it could have been worded a lot different to where it wasn't such a hostile environment that it set.
Worded it to the point where it felt like there was some type of favoritism going on. So you had to stick up for somebody to make sure they didn't lose out on any points and or time. And that's where this is really coming in and hitting hard.
Well,
and wait,
the thing that gets
give me 2 seconds.
Yep, go for it.
In the fact that you have people basically sucking the dick of the others to try to stay on top of it and say, hey, no, you're wrong, and all this other shit, grow the fuck up. I'm in admin chats. I've seen shit suck my ass, in all honesty. And before you even speak, and I'm talking directly to Bames on this one, you are a waste of my time to even try to have a conversation with you, because again, we don't mesh well, and I'm perfectly fine with that. You don't have to mesh with everybody you experience and see and have to deal with in life. But yeah, no, everything you said, I mean, from narcissist shit, number one, dude, no. And the best part is you're saying stuff to me in that Discord chat where you're literally taking who the fuck you are and trying to flip it on somebody else. And it's not just me that says that. I've had so many people reach out to me today, call me, text me to talk about you talking the way you did. Dude, don't flip this on anybody. At this point, again, you're a waste of my fucking time. This is all the breath I'm giving you. Go fuck yourself. Shiesty, go ahead.
So, thing I wanted to bring up was the starting parks. We have those for a reason. If you're going to miss up to 3 races, you have 3 starting parks. I don't understand why the league couldn't continue on. And they would have had to use starting parks.
Right.
But that's beyond me.
Now, I will say one thing about the changes. It's rough to sit there and be in the middle, be going through a season. Things are set one way and then they change. Now, I'm going to throw this on the league members. When D2D shut down, and we had that month there where we was putting together, next gen and all that. We were trying to, while we had those preliminary races, what we were trying to do is iron everything out before we started going. But we got a lot of negative feedback that, well, if all we're going to do is just practice race, then I'll go somewhere else, and shit like that. And it's like, I felt, in a sense, we were kind of being rushed to get this season going and all, to where we couldn't really iron out the full details and everything.
And I'm going to speak up on this because I did drop D2D on its fucking face and delete it all. But I 100% agree. There was definitely a rush to try to get back to racing, which, again, I can understand, especially for people that want to go and enjoy something together. But the stature was definitely rushed. The schedule was dropped and done. No one else put other thoughts into, like, what holidays are coming up or whatever the case may be. A lot of this shit was crammed and started. All this shit should have been thought over because, as we've all seen, there's been 9 changes already this season, or let's say 3 major changes, so to speak, and the other stuff's been little tweaks here and there. It's a lot of changing for no reason, man. I mean, and that's an issue. You start doing that to people that are in a league that's trying to enjoy what you have and enjoy what you created, and you're just tweaking and moving stuff every week. It's not a good mix. It's not a good mix for the people there, and it's not a good mix for your staffing of the people that are running it, because it's giving everybody a bad look, and it's just that's not what you want to do. And I'm going to speak back to Trickle again. The one thing I did realize, and Nep, I'm going to bring you in here and really talk to you about this because I know you felt some type of way, and I want to bring this to light. When everything was going down, when you got appointed president and MB and Rowdy are the owners, Trickle was supposed to be the guy under you and help you out with stuff. I don't know what happened there, but it seems like Trickle jumped over you and became what you were. That was a reason why you wanted to step down, is because you felt like you didn't have a say anymore. And I 100% agree. It seems like your say was not there anymore. You were getting overlooked.
Well, I will say this. When we were forming the league and all that, me and Trickle was talking every day,
Yeah.
all day long. We were messaging back and forth. Hey, what do you think about this idea with the league? What do you think about this idea? And we were working as a good team. And then draft happened, and shortly after draft, it's like our communicating with each other kind of fell off. And we were supposed to be working together, and it's like I would throw ideas out there because, I talked to you, Josh. We're friends and all that outside of the racing world and all that. And I had once before came to you with concerns. I said, now don't bring it up on the show. This is just me getting things off my chest. I would suggest things. There was a couple of things there that I suggested, and it in owners chat, and it got overlooked. But then a couple of days later, somebody else would say the same thing, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and it's like, "Oh, funny. That sounds like a good idea. I wonder why." Oh yeah, because I said it a couple of days ago. So I was starting to feel stepped on, to where it's like, okay, if nobody's going to listen to my ideals, then why am I even in this spot? And I think I told you at one point, I'm about ready just to go ahead and step down. And you're like, "Nep, just stick with it. Things will come around and all that. Things are just hectic because it's first of the season and all that. Just bear with it." But as it transpired, it was like 1 or 2 people would throw ideals out there, and instead of how we originally put in play, we were going to discuss with the group, with the committee, and then go from there. It was kind of like, here's an ideal, and then it was just thrown into play before any discussion was made. Take, for instance, adding Sonoma. We're in the middle of the season, and we're going to add a race. It's like,
throws it way off.
And it was brought up, hey, well, since Sonoma's the only track that we don't run in the regular season, why don't we add it the week of Dover? That way there's 2 races that week. It's an interesting ideal. We just have to talk about it. And the next thing you know, boom, it was set in stone. And
it
it's
was
like,
set in stone before you guys even
I
had
didn't
a
realize
say.
that we fucking finalized this. I thought it was still up for discussion. So it was like, it was frustrating. It's like we started at the beginning of the season. We talked about penalties. Then out of nowhere, all right, we're not gonna enforce penalties. Is that really a good idea? But it wasn't really up for debate. That's just the decision that it was going to be made. We're going to take the week off for spring break. All right, if we were going to do that, then why did we put in play earlier in the season? And we want the league to be good and to build and all that. But if you're just a league member, and you see every week or every couple of weeks this is being changed and this is being changed, and then you're being told, all right guys, we're going to do things this way, we're changing things up a little bit, this is going to be the last changes that we make this season, and then a couple weeks later there's more changes. It makes you start to wonder, how sturdy is this league, or do I need to start
looking for
suggesting
something else. Yeah.
looking at other
opportunities and stuff like that. I agree. I mean, my big thing, and Mike, I want you to come up here because we're gonna have a little chit chat with you. So as everyone knows, Mike released that he was going to be done racing very, very soon. He was saying it wasn't as enjoyable anymore. Stuff like that. Mike, does the way this league is becoming and happening and stuff changing around feeding that urge to not want to do it anymore?
I mean, when I came part of the committee, which I agree there should have been a committee for us to get this back going. I thought that, hey, we're going to get together, we're going to make decisions together as a group. But it seemed like after a while, nobody asked the rest of the committee their opinions on anything.
Yep.
So I just kind of went along with whatever was happening.
So you guys were an acting committee. It wasn't an actual committee. It was just there just so you guys had a label.
You're right. And I don't know. It just doesn't have that same feel that it did. Not saying, I understand it's a new league. There's going to be tweaks, and there's going to be people. Some things are going to be dropped. The ball's going to be dropped on. But again, if you don't have your structure set first, anything that you build on is going to fall. And I just feel like our structure was starting to be good, and then it's like halfway through, there's like, well, we ain't gonna worry about it no more. This is what's gonna happen, and you're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, but is it like a power hungry thing, or is it just trying to cut out the middleman? Like, if you're coming in and you're setting up something so it has a committee, so stuff goes through them and then gets pushes to higher ups. If now they're just skipping over you, and I don't know if it's the higher ups thing, and I'm talking about Rowdy and MB, because MB, as everyone knows, does the fucking points like a madman. That I will never take that away from MB. MB is a fucking awesome stats guy. He's always been an awesome stats guy. Even when we had D2D, he did shit so fucking awesome. I will always acknowledge MB for that. I will always appreciate the work that he puts in. Rowdy used to be the practice guy. He'd get on and practice with everybody. As everyone knows now, Rowdy doesn't have the time anymore. And same with MB. MB seems like he's very busy. He's got enough time to get the points done. That's it. So it's just like trying to find somebody that can watch over what's happening was basically supposed to be Nep. Nep was supposed to have that position. And Nep had somebody else just under him to help him come up with ideas to make sure stuff keeps moving on. But at the end of the day, like I said, Nep got cut out. And that's how I felt. That definitely was a turning force as to why Nep was just like, all right, let me back down. Because, of course, this is where the nice...
The thing, it's like the thing with Trickle, I mean, he's coming up with the ideals, and it's getting played. It's like, so if he's doing that, that's great. If that's what the league is going for, that's fine. But I might as well just step that one. I need to focus more on my driving. My driving shows, I'm having, balance my part of the podcast, balance my driving, balance, keeping up with what's going on, trying to keep up with what's going on in management of the league. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to take some of the weight off of me, and I'm just going to step down.
Yep. I mean, and rightfully so. I definitely don't blame you just by what was transpiring with you. So I mean, again, to everyone watching it, we're not trying to rip this shit apart. Not trying to rip this shit apart. Not trying to fucking make people feel some type of way. Not trying to piss people off.
Oh
We're
yeah,
we're dropping facts of what's going on, and people need to
the,
wake the fuck up and see it.
as quote unquote broadcasters, that's what you
Yeah.
can call us, podcasters. As broadcasters for the league, we can't just talk, positive about everything that's going on. We
Yeah,
have to
two-faced.
point out the negative aspect as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do I hate the league? Hell no. Do I enjoy racing with everybody in the league, including Bames? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bames has, Bames has became one of those annoying little brothers type deals.
Yeah, I agree. It's annoyance.
He's gonna, he's gonna work on your last nerve,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it, some of it, I think it's just him just fucking around with everybody, and I'm not knocking him for that. It's just that's what everybody has came to
Knowing him as.
took Bames' ass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do we hate Bames for it? No. Bames is Bames, but in the same aspect, I have been able to message Bames and be like, dude, I just can't figure out this fucking track. Well, what are what are you doing your adjustments? And I'll tell him, he's like, no, what you want to do is this, and make sure that you're coming into the turns here and braking at this point. Behind the scenes, Bames has helped me out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I greatly appreciate that. Does sometimes reading the chats and all that, and it's like, seems like as soon as somebody speaks up, Bames chimes in. It's like,
yeah, he's right on that.
Come
shit.
on, come on, Bames, calm down, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he's a good guy. And by all means, like you said, this ain't to bash somebody or anything like that. Bames is a good guy. I think he likes to stir the pot a little bit, and it's fun. When D2D was going and he came in, me and him had a little rival back and forth. He'll mess with me and I'll mess with him, all because in a practice I got into him one time and put him in the wall. And, it was an ongoing battle and it was fun. I never took anything that he said offensive or anything like that. And he's done that with you, Josh. He's done it with Samo, multiple other people. Hell, he's on team, PPR, and he knocks Shiesty all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I get that. I mean, and on the aspect of racing the guy's not a dirty racer by all means. I'll race him all day, every day.
Right.
I'm
Oh,
perfectly
yeah.
fine with that. But it's just you don't realize who you are and how you come off to others until it gets put out there, and then you're defensive about it, and then you throw that exact thing that you do all the time onto somebody else. That's why, like, I was just saying it till I got on here because number one, not wasting my fucking time. Not, I'm not, and it's one of those things. He's an annoying little fucking fly. You shoo him, you fucking goes away for a second, comes back. If you ignore him, he leaves you the fuck alone because I'm assuming picks up that you don't want to talk to him because we see how it is with him and Samo, and it just I just don't, not my type of person to talk to. Racing wise, sure, we'll race all day every day. I don't give a shit. I'm perfectly fine with that out on the track, but yeah, just you gotta own up to who you are, I guess, at that point, and you don't. So
you could get in. Reb's another one. You could get
yes.
into a heated discussion with him
Mm-hmm.
and arguing back and forth. But then when it comes and y'all might have a disagreement, but when it comes race time and he's beside you, you don't have to worry about he's going to take a cheap shot at you or whatever. Reb, Bangs, a lot of guys, they might disagree with each other outside of the race, but when it comes race time, they're going to race you clean.
I'm also going to bring up Reb real quick while we're on that subject, because again, I'm just bringing stuff to light. what transpired between Trickle and Reb on Discord. I get it. I get it, especially since Reb was writing Trickle multiple times on certain things. You're stressing somebody out a little more than what you should be, especially for a racing league. I can get it if we fucking threw a bunch of money into this bitch and we're racing for fucking money or whatever the fuck the case is, but we're not supposed to be doing this for fun. It's teetering. It's teetering the fun meter right now. Um, but Reb does take stuff very personally, and he's very passionate about what he does. He's a very good performer on racetrack, as we've seen. He's been close to grabbing wins. He's grabbed wins. He's fucking been there at the end. He's somebody that's a very smart driver, and he's very quick. As we know, there's a good amount. And I'll even point out Bames for that. Bames is fast. I will give him that. He's fast and he's pretty goddamn clean. I don't really see him wreck or drive into somebody, but we all had that issue with the fucking bubble because that's what it is every week is a fucking shitty ass bubble on these cars. It won't go away. We all think we could push limits. Sometimes we can push them. Sometimes we don't realize we can until we get into a predicament. Um, but yeah, I mean, in all, it's just Reb's a very passionate guy, and the messaging, because I know he did it with me when I closed down D2D. He wrote me some nasty shit, and I responded back to him. And he spoke his free mind. I spoke my free mind. Done. I don't think we've had a conversation even remotely close to that since then. But whatever him and Trickle was going on, it seems like there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of words being said, and that's not good. I mean, guys, just you got to have a little more respect. I mean, we're here to have fun. I know Trickle was getting stressed out about stuff transpiring, and I get that, but it all leads back to certain events, and that's what we're bringing up. We're bringing up events, or we're bringing up puzzle pieces. That's what I said yesterday, puzzle pieces. But puzzle pieces starting to put together, and they're starting to fit, and they're creating a picture, and that's what people are going off of. Especially if you start digging. If you start digging, which a couple of us have, just to see what has transpired, then you have the evidence directly in front of you, and that's what your assumption is going to be. So yeah, I mean, this is enough talk about me. I'm gonna drop the whole Dramarama spiel shit because it's fun from time to time fucking around with people. But in all seriousness, like I don't really do this to try to piss people off. I do this because it's fun and I enjoy it, and I get on here and I fucking talk with fucking you guys on here, and we have a great time up in the booth and shit like that. So yeah, I'm gonna probably drop that Dramarama act because it's adding a whole nother thing, and I'm not really a pot stirrer. I don't like that shit. Um, I mean, what I was going there last night was trying to rationalize what's going on, trying to explain what was going on, and people just take that differently. So, I don't know if you three have anything else to say before we move on to Nep's thing, but I'm pretty much tapped out here. I've said my piece. I've explained stuff on my side, and that's where we're gonna be. So, if you guys have anything else, go ahead. If not, let me know, and we will move on to the next part.
No, pretty good. I mean, the only advice I could give to moving forward league wise, and for granted, I'm just a driver, but if you put a structure into play as far as it goes for you got a committee member and you come up with ideals, and by all means, everybody's open to ideals should be open to everybody, including just regular drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the course of action. Take it to your committee members. Have them talk it out. All right. Put it to a vote, or whatever, and if the majority says, yeah, let's move forward with this, then take it up to your owners wise and say, okay, this is what the committee thinks, positive and negative. Rowdy and B, Trickle, what do y'all think? And then y'all had the final saying, but include everybody in
At
the
this
decision.
point, take away the committee. You're not using it. Take it away.
The last say like, and it was brought up. Hamrick brought it up also. Technically the last week of the season
Mhm.
is Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
So if it becomes a matter of getting closer to that time, and maybe, hey, it is Memorial Day. People's going to be out of town. I think there's one guy that's going to the Coca-Cola 600 that week. Should we push back this week? Go to the committee, talk it all out with them, and then go from there. Don't just one person make the decision. That's the whole reason why you have a committee. Include everybody in it. I mean, because if it's just going to be MB, Rowdy, and Trickle calling the shots, then yeah, why even have the committee?
Exactly. It's just like them having the label. It's one thing, but them having a label and not being able to use it because you're not giving them that time and the effort to use it. Drop it like it's a bad habit. It's perfectly fine to do what you want to do. Me, Rowdy, and MB, we made our own decisions. We all sat together. We created polls in our fucking chats, and us three figured stuff out together. That's what we did. We had a committee at one point in time back when fucking Cowboy was fucking one of the owners of the league, and we had a committee, and then we agreed that there was too many fucking names in the hat. So it's just like you simplify it down. You don't overthink it all. But especially for the first season, there's too much going on. There needs to be a pullback, a fucking kick back and relax button, and just keep it about racing. It's becoming so much more.
And if you keep the committee,
Mm-hmm.
Tell the committee members, guys, get you a notebook. If something comes up during the season, if it's a dire emergency, we'll address it then. But if not, let's write it down. And at the end of the season, let's come together, bring all of our notes together, and say, okay, season 1's out of the way. This is some things that I noticed that we might need to address, or, and then go to topic. Don't just rush. Okay, we finished season 1. 2 weeks later, we're starting season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And take a couple weeks. I remember, Josh, you in DTD, you would want to take. Now, I think sometimes your breaks you want to take way too long because
you want to take 2
or
3 months.
One time
sometimes.
you want to take a couple months, and it's like, whoa, hold up, why are we waiting so damn long? I think that's why we had a truck season one time, which we never actually even finished.
We did
because
and we started up a couple.
You were wanting to wait like a couple of months before you started up, and it's like, but we want something to do. So it's like, okay, fine. Here's a truck series. Y'all go have fun with this, and in August we'll pick up season. And it gave us something to do between the end of that season and the next season.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's what the Xfinity series over there actually was starting at. It was supposed to be like a break from the end of Cup season into the next, but then all of a sudden we got we got half of the Xfinity season in, and then started up the Cup season.
Yep.
So it was kind of, I like the whole where the Xfinity and the Cup are running together, and that has a lot to do with it. I know there was one question that was, well, if there's Cup guys that aren't going to be able to race this week, why is Xfinity taking off? Ideally, the reason why, and I can say this to answer that question, ideally what we wanted was for the Xfinity series to end right at the same time as the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Now we did end up adding 2 extra, we added 3 extra races to the Final Four, making it a 4-race, final round, which then did move Cup out 1 extra week. So if we went ahead and ran an Xfinity race this week, technically Xfinity would have ended 2 weeks ahead of the Cup. So that had a lot to do with it as to why I decided to also have the Xfinities take the week off as well. Mm-hmm. Is so that they kind of stayed ending their season at the exact same time, kind of. There is going to be that last week of the season where there's 2 Cup races and no Xfinity race.
Yep.
But it was better just 1 week that way than having 2 weeks of y'all Xfinity guys just sitting around doing nothing.
understandable, but yeah, the way stuff is now, I mean, the bet is made. We got to lay in it, and it caused an uproar. It caused an uproar once people started to realize stuff. So, um, other than that, we're done with this segment for now. We put everything out there. Do with that info as you will. That's all I'm gonna say. If you have anything that you didn't like hearing, I don't give a fuck. Take it, build off it, and do what you gotta do. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this. So enough of me talking and enough of everything happening over here about all this shit. Let's do a recap on the season. It's not going to be just Nep talking. We're actually all going to be in there discussing certain drivers, how they've been running for the season, so on and so forth. So, without further ado, Nep, I'm turning the tables over to you, buddy. It's time for the race report.
Thank you, Josh. Welcome, everybody, to NEP's weekly race report. Of course, naturally, this week we don't have any races to discuss. So, what I wanted to do, I mean, we talked about the points throughout the season. Without taking a long time, I'm kind of just going to go over some of the stats throughout the season for both Xfinity and the Cup Series. Give you a little breakdown of points wise. The way it's looking, I will say this, and I discussed this with Josh earlier. Even with the Cup, once Josh falls out because he'll start missing some races, and Beer Stick will fall out of the top 16. Pretty much everybody that is a full-time Cup guy will mathematically lock into the playoffs. So, and vice versa, same as now. The key Xfinity, I think their playoffs is what that starts with 8 people.
Yes, we have 8 to start. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are 2 drivers that are below the cut line right now. So, and we're going to discuss that. And that's a great place to start. And I wanted to do things different. Instead of starting from the top and working down, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way to the top. So with that being said, let's look at, and we got 2 guys down at the bottom in 12th and 11th place. Pfister, who only ran 2 races with us. And, I mean, he had great qualifying. He started he was racing when Cup were racing, and so he would qualify in the middle of the pack. He had an average start of 8th, but he had issues finishing. He was finishing pretty much last every race, and so he was sitting there with just 42 points, which was 430 points away from Josh is the points leader at this point with 472 points. All right, up from there. 53 points above him is Wheaton. As we know, he left the league. He ran a handful of races. Ran 4 races, and it then ended up, it just wasn't for him.
No.
But he's still sitting there with 95 points, 377 points out of first place, 50 points out of 10th place. 10th place in points.
Yeah, MB kind of fucked up on the on the points, the numbers over there on the left. I was looking at those when I put them in here. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was too when I was going making my little notes for this. All right, so then now we're at the top 10, and the first on the list, he's ran 4 races, and that's one of the reasons why he's where he is in points. He's only ran 4 races.
Memphis will be in the top 5, so I'm gonna open up about
because out of those 4 races, he had 3 top 5s.
Yeah,
so when
fast,
he races,
man.
Yeah. So I think had he been racing this whole time, I think he would have been a lot higher up in points. I mean, he's only got 145 points. He's 327 points behind the leader, and he's 22 points from ninth place in points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think had he been able to run more races, I think he would have been at the top of the list. I mean, I think coming into the season, he was actually one of from the prospect races or whatever we were calling them, preliminary races and all.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the top new guys that was coming into the league. We felt he was going to be one of them that was going to be right up there at the top, contending for the points championship.
No.
But depending on how things go, like I said, he's only 22 points behind James. If he starts racing races,
Mm-hmm.
I won't sit there and say that he can't make it into the playoffs. He just got to start running. He's got to finish each stage good, pick up some playoff points,
So
and try to.
mathematically, the top 8 is locked in on points.
Yeah, I mean, it would take. Looking at the stats, it would take a lot, but anything could happen. Bob could miss a couple of races or whatever, and could end up falling below the cut line. So,
Well, actually, he
because
can't.
oh really?
Yeah, I did all that math the other day because we only have, I think, 1 or 2
Oh, okay, yeah,
pre-playoff
that's
races
right.
regular season. So, yeah, I mean, if you have at least a 80-point gap there, you get your starting park for at least one race. You're already
Okay.
locked in. So,
Yeah, because James is sitting there at ninth in points. Now, the key with James, you know, good start. He's finishing an average 9.6 in finishes. He's got 5 top tens and 2 top
you're looking
fives.
at Bob's.
I'm sorry, 3 top tens. He's sitting at 167 points, and he's 95 points behind Bob. I'm making the cut. So you know, he's ran 3 fewer races than Bob, and that has a lot to do with it. Now, he did leave at one point, but then he came back, and I think that's what hurt him was those couple weeks that he was out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know had he been here, he would have ran those races, and he would have been right there with Bob. So
I think looking at the way the points race is, especially who's around James, he's missing 4 races, so you figure 20 points a race, if that. That's an 80-point difference. He'd be sitting right up where Hamrick is.
yeah. So I mean, you look at his average finish and all that. But now let's get into the playoff status. 8th in points. Now there will be a reset. We all know this. It's been talked about. Points will be will be reset and all that. But currently, Bob's sitting in 8th place with 262 points. He's 210 points out of first place and 27 points behind Hamrick in 7th. Consistency finishes. He just needs to finish strong in these next couple points races. And then when it comes playoff times, he just got to really show up.
Bob's actually running pretty well. So
Oh yeah,
Bob's issue, what I'm starting to see, and I see it in a lot of replays, is entry to pit road. Bob is fucking the entry up on pit road. That's really what's causing his issue right now. Because Bob's been running top 4, top 5 some of these goddamn races, and it comes down to the pit stops in the last stage, and he falls because it's just he either loops the car around trying to get woed up, or Bob's always been the type to, if he sees a car wrecking or sees a car out of shape, Bob will put himself in the fence to like not go near him, and that's the thing that's hurting Bob right now. But he's a nice driver, and Bob's gotten a lot better since this game came out, because when it first came out he was struggling, or he's gotten a lot better. I know him, Hamrick, and we'll talk about Jay Clay in a little bit here, but they got together and really got their cars all dialed in, and they've been doing really freaking solid. But yeah, no, Bob needs to just button up on pit road, and he'll be a top 5 car almost all the time.
Right. Oh, exactly. Seventh in points is Hamrick with 289 points, 183 points out of first, and 27 points out of sixth place. When you look at Hamrick's stats, he's ran all 9 races. What's killed him has been finishes. Because he's got an average start of 6.0
and 2 poles.
But
he's got 2 poles, man.
2 poles, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s. But his finishes is, make sure that I'm looking at the right one, is an 11.6.
Yep.
So, he starts good, and then whatever the case may be, towards the end of the race, he starts to fall off.
So, one thing I noticed with that is he could be fucking amazing on the base setup, but once adjustments come in, he might not either know what to do or whatever the case may be, but I feel like that could be a problem of his right now.
Yeah, I believe so. Everybody has figured out, the adjustments, and very, very rare have I found out that adjustments are slower than the base setup. I think the only races that it really matters much, that there's no difference, is really the road courses.
Yeah,
But
there's not
that's
much
also,
of a difference there.
But some of these tracks, depending on what adjustments you're making, is what's going to sit there and put all the rest of the guys a little bit faster than you.
Basically,
So,
guys, listen up. You all you gotta do in those cars is drop the tire pressure and fuck with the wedge. Figure out what you can handle. That's all you have to do with these goddamn cars. You can run them all as low as they can go. You can run the left as low as they'll go. The right's one click above where the lefts are supposed to be. Little info for you guys to pick up on. It's very simple. Do the adjustments. It's just be careful when you're racing because the car is going to be on edge sometimes.
yeah. So that's where playing with the wedge comes into play, because you could drop those tire pressures down, but then if you drop your wedge too low, then you're too loose.
Mm-hmm.
So that you got to, get in there when you're practicing and all that, and play with that stuff. Start at 50 on your wedge and drop down to 48.5. And then if you've got a good feel on that, drop down a little bit more until either you bottom out or you're just losing it coming into the turns. And I could take the preaching on myself too, because I've been having issues with that as well. I'll start figuring out. I'll finally figure out the wedge that works for me with the tire adjustment, pressure adjustment, like after the last pit stop. And then I've got a fast car, but I'm already so far behind, it's just nothing I can do about it. But moving on. 6th place in points. And 7 top 10s, 3 top 5, 1 pole. He's ran all 9 races, sitting at 316 points. He's 156 points out of first place and only 3 points out of 5th place. And that's Lakilla. Average start of 5.8 and an average finish of 8.9. Killer's one of them. He's strong at the beginning of a stage or at the beginning of a run, but he starts to fall off towards the end of the run.
So I will give him his flowers where his flowers are due. That man almost kicked ass at Bristol. He was a very good short run car. And I don't know what adjustment he did. I have no clue, but he kicked ass at Bristol in those Xfinity cars because he was leading the race for a while. But he is an upcoming driver. We thought we were gonna have problems with him. In all seriousness, the guy's learning a lot, and he's really taking that into consideration. and it's awesome seeing the guy. He deserves good finishes. Um, and as you can see, how close like the points battle is between him and Mountain Dew Man, and we'll even throw Camric in there because he's not too far away. Um, yeah, when the pressure starts showing up, push comes to shove, and you get to show who's better, who can drive a better car, who can hold a better wheel. And Lakille is starting to bring it on here, man. He's been having some stellar finishes and some great runs.
Right. I mean, so I think he's going to have a good second half of the season. He's locked into the playoffs, and from what I look and see, he really needs to start. Stage points. He's right there with Mountain Dew Man and Jay Clay and them. He's got to try to work on getting some of them playoff points to kind of bump him up there and all. So it'd be interesting to see what he does in the last 2 points races and then moving into the playoffs. Will he be one that sneaks up there and makes it into the next round of the playoffs? Bringing us to fifth in points is Mountain Dew Man with 319 points. He is currently sitting 153 points out of first place and only 9 points out of fourth place. Off of fourth place. He's got 1 stage win, 2 top 5s, 7 top 10s. And now, keep in mind, there was a lot of races there where Cup guys, there was as many, if not more, Cup guys running with the Xfinity guys. And out of 9 races, he still finished top 10 in 7 of them. So, I mean, he's doing pretty good. He doesn't have a pole yet. He's been real close. Average start is a 6.1, so he's got that good qualifying base. He just needs to work on his finish. He's got an average of 9.0 for his finishing.
And that's a guy I think you're going to see sneak into the championship for. Mountain Dew Man's a very solid driver. I will definitely start speaking highly of him. If I was a owner in the league, cough, cough, I would be looking to bring that man right into the Cup Series for next season. No questions asked.
Oh yeah, I think it's almost a shoe-in. Those that make the playoffs are going to be prime candidates for Cup rides next season. Down the list, all the way from the top to the bottom. Well, of course, Josh, you're retiring, but from Heavy D all the way down to, I'd even add James, and then if Memphis can actually start showing up for races and showing what he was doing at the beginning of the season, let me know if the background noise is too much. The wife came in here to watch
hear
TV.
a little bit, but we're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. But Memphis could really step up here in the last 2 races. And can you turn it down just a little bit, babe? You got to use the other remote, babe. There you go. Thank you. I think he can really step up, and be a top candidate. He might not make the playoffs, but I think he's going to be able to play spoiler in some of those races, in the playoffs. So, if word of advice I could give Memphis, don't give up just because you won't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Stick with it and show what you're capable. Yeah. I remind everybody, Jimmy Johnson never won a championship in Xfinity. Really wasn't a front-running car, and made the move up to Cup, and we know where his career went from there. So, fourth place in points is Jay Clay, sitting at 328 points. 144 points out of first place, 13 points out of third place. 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, 1 pole. He's got an average start of 5.1 and an average finish of 7.4. I mean, you look at the points. I mean, it's so close right there between third place in points all the way down to, you can add Hamrick in there if you want. So it's going to be interesting moving forward. Third place in points, and some would think that it's a controversial decision because he was a Cup guy, and because of his schedule, he wasn't going to be able to make a lot of races for the Cup races, so he went to, the leaders, and, he went to a committee, and, I think he talked to Trickle or somebody and said, hey, is there any way I can drop down and run Xfinity and not run, not be a full-time Cup guy? And everybody agreed that was fine because he had already ran every race up to that point as a Xfinity, in the Xfinity as a Cup guy. So we went ahead and let him keep his points that he would have accumulated. So he's sitting third in points, 341 points. He's 131 points out of first and 55 points out of second place in points. He's got 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s. He struggled when it comes. He's been about a 10th place start and then average finish of 7.3. I won't say at first, he just didn't care about where he finished at in the Xfinity. He was just out there getting track time. But since he's made the decision to go full-time Xfinity, he's really stepped up. Josh, you race with him every week in the Xfinity.
Yep.
I think you would say the same thing. He's really been right there.
I can definitely attest for him. It's beer stick, for Christ's sakes. Dude did iRacing before. When he was in a Cup Series, I remember in DPD days he was finishing second in the Samoa in a couple races. So he's got stuff figured out. I mean, the Xfinity cars is a whole different animal. They drive looser. They don't really plant the rear end in the ground. They slide it. They're a very interesting car to drive. That's why I really enjoy driving them. And it's fit in beer stick. He's a dirt track driver. He's a dirt tracker. He loves dirt tracking. So he's
well,
yeah.
At the beginning of the season, when we were deciding, what class to run these guys in, that didn't, that for whatever reason, felt they wasn't quite ready for the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It was thrown out ARCA. It was thrown out, running a second Cup class, Cup car class and all that. But we decided with Xfinity because we figured you run that first season in Xfinity, and if you can figure out the handling of the Xfinity car, then when you make that move up to Cup, you're not going to have any type of handicap whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So, second place in points, Heavy D, sitting at 396 points. He's only 76 points out of first place. One win, 5 stage wins, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, no poles, shockingly. He's got an average start of 3.7, but an average finish of 7.4. So the beginning of the race, he's qualifying great, but he's not getting those finishes, I feel, to match, where he qualifies at. And some of them's been, issues on the track, and he just decides to call it a night. I think that hurts him in the long run. I can say personally, there's been many times I haven't had a great car, but because I stick in there and I complete every lap, I sometimes gain 1 or 2 positions from them guys that does back out. So, and that's points right there. And last but not least, your points leader, Josh, sitting at 472 points, 5 impressive 5 wins, 6 stage wins, 9 top 5s and 9 top 10s. I mean, you got 3 poles, an average start of 4.7, and an average finish of 1.8. I mean, you know, there are some that sit there and says, everybody's at a disadvantage in Xfinity because you're down there running for points and all that, but you're the measuring stick. And if they can come out there and run with you, and whether they can, whether they don't beat you or they're right there on your tail, that shows to the committee that's going to decide if you're going to be able to move up to Cup or not. Hey, this guy ran with Josh, and yeah, Josh might have got him, but he was right there nipping at Josh's tail. What was it, Portland? Jay Clay was right there.
Jay was right there, and I'm gonna bring up Mountain Dew because he was lights out in stage 1. In stage 2, we raced each other really hard, and I pulled away from him. And in stage 3 was an all-out brawl between me, him, and Jay. It was some wild road course ring for some cars that were not planted in the ground. I had so much fun with them. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not really a walk in the park down here in Xfinity side. And the field's smaller, yeah, I get it, but I'm gonna be completely blunt here. Heavy D, he's fast as hell on a base setup. When he throws adjustments in the car, you can tell he doesn't like a super loose car, and that's what happens to these cars. So he creates his own problems, and as you see, his average finish has shown that. Um, yeah, I mean, those 5 wins. I mean, and they're 5 in a row, which is cool. But even when we had the Cup guys in here, I finished I think second twice before the Cup guys got pulled. So I was always there. I just couldn't just get that last spot. And then once they left, it was just like, oh, okay. And that's how this has unfolded. But I mean, the last 2 races between Portland and Pocono, because Pocono, Memphis he came out of turn 3 with like a second and a half lead on me, and he ran out of fuel coming out of 3, and I passed him for the win. So like, it's not blowing away the competition. It's either these guys are outsmarting you because they're trying to do different strategy calls, or they're keeping pace with you on speed. But yeah, I have been battling my ass off down there. It's been fun, and it's a good retirement racing for me. In the Xfinity series and the Cup series, but we'll get there when the Cup comes up. Yeah, these guys are fucking crazy when you're racing against them, and it's brought a lot of like wild fun moments in that series. So we gotta see what we got left to go. I'm trying to win one more championship, add to the resume there, but it's not gonna come without a fight.
Right. Yeah, because once the playoff starts and things get shuffled around, that 76-point lead could drop down some. So I won't just sit there and say, "Oh, well, you're a shoe in to win this one." The way that these other guys are, I mean, there's a good possibility somebody could come out that second half of the season, in the playoffs and just dominate fashion. So you
I
never
mean,
know.
and Jay's turned up the last couple weeks, so he finished second at Portland. Like he was on my ass in the last corner, and he ran out of gas in the last corner. So it's just like, again, people are matching the speed. It's just putting together that full, complete race to be on top of everything is where I strive. I'm a strategist. Yes, I can be quick at times, but I'm more of a strategist than anything, and I'm always trying to think of ways to help with the car, no matter if it's save a little bit of fuel or don't burn the right front off the car. Try to push it not as hard, but try to keep it steady. That's what I specialize in, and I'm having to pull every fucking rabbit out of the hat in this series to try to get even remotely close to a win. So it's been hard fought. These have been hard fought, and it's been great. I mean, I'll go back to, I believe it was Kansas with Memphis. Um, He was on my ass, man. He was on my ass for a while. I had to change my whole entire driving style when he was there to see if I could pull away from him, and I finally started pulling away from him. So that's something else I adapt to is like, oh, I can't run my normal. I need to run a different lane. He's keeping up with me. What can I do that's different? Th- This shit isn't easy. This shit isn't easy, and these guys are making it a difficult battle, but at the same sense, it's a great fucking time. So I'll take it all day, every day.
But that covers the points for Xfinity. It was a little long. I didn't expect it to go that long, so we'll try to race through, race through Cup here, so that we're not here for another hour.
I'll do the first
Listen to me
page for your
talk.
nap if you want to switch back and forth.
Okay, that'll work.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's hop in here. We'll start off with the fill-in drivers. As you can see, they're still on the point sheet. The points just reflect what they raced. But anywho, as you can see, EMC he had one start. Did not go as well as he planned. Started 17th, finished 16th. Lekele pulled off a top 10 with his one start. He started 20th. I think that was shotgun on the field at the time. Finished 10th. Jake Clay had by far the best call up, and I believe that was either Daytona or Talladega. I don't quite
It was
remember.
Talladega.
Yeah, but he came in.
No, it was Daytona. My bad.
Okay, but he came in, started 20th, finished 4th. Phenomenal work for the guy. Nep, take 20th.
All right, 20th is another call-up guy, Mountain Dew man. He's had 2 call-ups and 1 top 10. Average start 17th and a finish of 12th. So not bad for, he's in there with 18 to 19 full-time Cup guys. He gets a call up and he's still finishing in 12th place, so, he's going to be phenomenal. Looking at the 2 below the cut line now, remember I said when things cycled through with Josh missing and Beer Stick moving down, these 2 would actually make the cut. Make the playoffs. You're sitting at Big Mike sitting there at 19th in points at 382 points. 5 top 10s, one top 5, an average finish of 12.8 with an average start of 13.5. So he's starting the race right there in that 12th, 11th, 13th spot, and finishing in the same area. Same thing for NASCAR, sitting at 18th in points at 408 points, with 3 top 10s, average start of 15.4. I think a lot of his thing is he's not able to qualify on Sunday nights because of work, so he's always having to start at the back of the pack.
Correct.
So it's hard for him to get a good start, and it shows. It's hard to come through these fields because he's got an average finish of 13.2. Now the first car in would be Rowdy Rooster, sitting at 432 points. He's 20 points from the next place car. Average start of 11.9 with an average finish of 12.9. Rowdy had an issue at the first of the season where he'd start to get behind and he'd just like, you know what, I'm done for tonight. I got a baby I got to tend to, this and that. But here lately, he's been running every race and it's been showing. He's been having some good finishes. So I think the second half of the season is going to be phenomenal for him. And last on this list is Beer Stick. He's 20 points ahead of Rooster, sitting at 452 points. And he's only 10 points away from the car in front of him, with an average start of 7.2 and an average finish of 10.3. Sitting there with 5 top 10s and 4 top 5s. So, but as we know, Beer Stick, he's going to end up missing a bunch of races, which will move him below the line. So All right, Josh, your turn.
All right, 15th. Nep sitting there, 462 points. He's got about 17 points to get to Ford, who's sitting 14th. Nep's got one top five, five top tens, and he's averaging and starting about the same. Average start is 12th. Average finish is 12.2. So Nep, you're being consistent right now with your start and your finishes. Um, then we move on to 14th, which is Ford. He's at 479 points. He is currently 16 points off yours truly.
17.
No, it's 16.
Oh, is it? My
Yep.
math must not be math. No, because you got 495,
5, and he's got 479.
and he's yeah, so it's 17 points. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm making sure my brain's not fried. No, Nep is definitely 16. But okay. Ford's got one top five, three top tens, average start of 10.2, average finish of 12.7. Then it goes to me. I'm at 495. 2 points off Sharton. Wee. Um, I ended up snagging 2 wins, which is pretty cool. Won the first race of the season and won Charlotte. 7 top 10s. I'm 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s. Average start 10.5. I don't qualify good on the base setup, which I'm starting to realize. Even in the Xfinity side, I feel like I don't really have what I wish I had. But my average finish shows for itself. It's fifth. I think I'm either second or third highest on the list, but that's besides the point. 12th is Sharton. He's at 497 points. He is currently 18 points. Sorry, Jesus Christ. He's 22 points off Rowdy. Um, Average start. Well, let's see here. Sharton, he's got one top five, 8 top 10s. Average start of 8.3. Average finish of 11.1. This one right here surprises the fuck out of me, which is Rowdy sitting in 11th. He's got 519 points. 2 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Um, he does have one pole, which is awesome. He's averaging a start of 10.2, which is crazy for Rowdy. Um, Average finish at 12.4, which again blows my mind because I know he's better than that. Hopefully he turns the series around. Nep, take it away.
All right. Looking from 10th through 6th in points. 10th place in points is Wolfie Man, sitting at 531. 2 top 5s, 10 top 10s. Average start of a 10.3 with an average finish of 11.5. So he's starting to finish about right in the same area. Then we come to an oddball. When you look at his stats, sitting 9th in points to Trigun. Now he has missed the past 2 weeks of racing, which that's 4 races, so that really hurts. If you look, we've had 18 races and he's only ran 11 races. Now, to only run 11 and still be sitting in the top 10 in points is very impressive. Sitting at 532 points. He is currently 14 points from 8th in points. 3 wins, 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 2 poles, I believe it is, or 2 or 3 poles. 9.4 starting and a 5.6 finishing. So, I mean, when he shows up, he shows up. That's definitely for sure. 8th place in points would be MB, sitting at 546. Currently 17 points away from the 7th place in points. 3 top 5, 11 top 10s. 1 pole, I think that is. Or no.
Who are we looking at
13. The one before the average start.
That was no, that's starting Parks.
Oh, that's starting part. Okay. Yeah, okay. He's got 1 starting part. But average start a 13.4 with an average finish of 8.8. So he starts outside the top 10 and he finishes right there inside the top 10. Next would be 7th place in points would be Dr. Shiesty, sitting at 63 points. Now, this is the odd thing. He is 111 points from the 6th place in points. Now, he's another one that's missed a couple of races. He's missed 3 races. He's got 1 pole, an average start of 7.4 with an average finish of 8.7. So that, missing those races has hurt him, Makes me question what the hell I'm doing. I've ran every race and I'm way the hell down there. I really got to start working on finishing good. 6th place in points is Bames, sitting at 674 points. He's 30 points out of top 5, being in the top 5. He's got 3 wins, 7 top 5s, and 13 top 10s. He's 7.2 average finish with a 7.4 average. 7.2 average start with a 7.4 average finish. And the last category, Josh, you get to do the top 5. Hello.
Oh shit! Oopsie, my bad. Next is Trickle, points 704. He's starting at 7 top 5s, 15 top 10s. He's currently the only one in the top 5 that doesn't have a win, so he's been at least consistent. He's got 1 fastest lap. He's got 1 pole. Average start is 6.7. Average finish is 7.4. So where he's starting is about where he's finishing. 4th, Speedy. He's at 772 points. He's got 2 wins, 10 top 5s, 15 top 10s, 4 poles. Holy hell. Average start 7.4, average finish 6.3. Sitting 3rd, we talked about him earlier in the show. Reb, he's at 806 points. He's got 2 wins as well. 10 top 5s, 15 top 10s, 2 fastest lap, 2 poles. Average finish at 4.4. Average start 4.4, average finish 6.1. So he's starting up towards the front and he's finishing just around top 5. Just behind that. JPR, finally, dude got his first win. Congratulations again. 814 points. He's got 1 win. He's got 9 top 5s, 16 top 10s, 7 fastest laps and 7 poles, which is ridiculous. Average start 3.9. He starts really well. Average finish 6.2. He's just outside the top 5 when it comes to finishing. Last but not least on the list is our number 1 guy sitting on the points right now, which is Samo. He's at 889 points. He's sitting with a good cushion. He's got 5 wins. He's got 13 top 5s, which leads the league. He's got 17 top 10s, which again leads the league. His average start is 4.9. His average finish is 3.7. And as you can see, the man has 0 poles. And he's the only one in the top 5 that doesn't have a pole. So that's very interesting. He's leading the points. But yeah, that is the
with 75-point lead over 2nd place.
no.
So but that's one of them things. Once we get to the playoffs and the resets and all that, and you look at playoff points. Samo's in there with 70 playoff points, and the 2nd place car is sitting with only 28 playoff points. So it.
Yeah, the closest one to him is Trigun when the points the reset happens, because Trigun's in the 40s for his playoff points. So that'll help him out and drop a couple other guys. So yeah, the playoffs for the Cup Series is gonna be very interesting to see it all play out. I'm curious how tight the points battles will be, but
and I want to say we still got 4 races, points races before the playoff. So it's gonna be interesting how those 4 races go. So.
Definitely will be, but
that wraps up my report this week. Next week I'll have all-star coverage to talk about. So let's send it over to Shiesty if you're still awake.
Just woke up. The alarm just went off. No, but Shiesty's Eagle Eye is back this week. Figured, why not just talk with the guys. Sit down. The first question out of the real life NASCAR roster, who's the first to pick up their first win?
Like
It's
real.
definitely one of those 3 cars sitting there, 100%. I think you're gonna see Hocevar. I think he is gonna be the one to snag his first. Priest has not been as close as Hocevar and not as fast. Gibbs is constantly getting top fives now, which is very interesting to see. Um, yeah, I think Hocevar, you're gonna see that man put that car right in victory lane.
I definitely say Hocevar. But Gibbs is giving it, is getting better along the way. But Hocevar's just got that dog in him, and he doesn't care if you're in his way; he's gonna come through you.
Do you think Priest could pull one off at Martinsville or Bristol coming up after the Bowman Gray race, or you think
That's a
one of
completely
these other
different
guys?
track. You can't compare the two.
100%.
That's the issue. I mean, it'd be nice because I do think Priest deserves one, but he's just not aggressive enough, like let's say Hocevar is. And Gibbs, as we saw at Gibbs when he was in Xfinity, the dude was fucking pushing the issue all the time. And in Cup, he doesn't have a fast. He didn't have a fast enough car to do that. But we see him running towards the front. And it's because he's using his brain. So I still think out of all these guys, you're gonna see Hocevar go out and get the first one before anyone else.
Now, let me ask Connor Zilic, do you think he can pull one out before Hocevar? Or do you
Nope,
think it's still Hocevar?
nope, not yet.
Yeah, I'd have to say probably Hofstra. He'll shove somebody out of the way to get that win.
Yep.
Or drive through 2 guys?
Yeah, or drive through them. Yeah.
The '88 car, that driver there, he's a lot more laid back unless you're sitting at a road course.
Yep.
So that's a big thing.
And we're going to flip it to the league side of things with the same exact question. Which of the drivers that haven't won this season, who do you think's going to pick up that first win?
Trickle.
Trickle has been close as hell.
Yeah, out of everybody that in the league that hasn't gotten a win yet, I think my money would be on Trickle. He's consistent, as we've seen by going through the points and all that. I mean, he's consistent right there. But then another one, at any point he could break through, and Rowdy could shock somebody and pick up his first win of the season. So
Mike's getting his first win. Damn it!
All right, Mike, go fucking get it, dude.
I was about to say, Shiesty's going to have to
now
pull something out of his ass.
Dega is coming up, and I do pretty good at super speedway, so maybe I could pick up my first career win, not just of the season, but in online racing in NASCAR. Maybe I could, I finished second at Daytona. Maybe I can pull something out of my ass and pick up my first win. So
Hopefully I can push you to a win instead of a second place behind Josh, I'm pretty sure it was.
no, it was Bames because that was a 1-2
Bames.
finish
Oh,
for us.
yep, 1-2 finish.
Bames.
Yeah.
He had Speedy pushing him, and I come out of 2, and I drifted up and went to make a move, and I made the move way too soon. I should have done it coming out of 4 instead of 2. I got anxious.
Shit happens. Next up here, has JPR found it?
Oh,
The winning strategy.
I think he's found it. He just hasn't been able to implement it. That's a big thing. I mean, look at all the polls he's got. He's got 7 fucking polls already this year. Well, this season. So it's just like he's got the speed. He shows it. It's just he can't put a full race together. He usually screws himself over at the end of these things, from what I've been seeing. Homestead was a very interesting race to see with him. I thought the stage 1 he ran away. Stage 2 stayed together, and stage 3 was just everything just went sideways. No one really. I mean, if we stay green, I know Bames was gonna just go out and win anyway because even at that, just the tire fall off was so bad, and there was like a 2 lap difference in tire fall off, and you saw the 2 lap difference. Your car just didn't hold like it did. So yeah, I think he's found it. He's just gotta fully implement it and hold on to it. The guy finally got his first win, so I think you're gonna see about 4 or 5 more of them before the end of the season.
Hell
Right.
yeah. Well, with that being said, 2 of the 4 D2D guys in here have announced retirement at the end of the season. How many more will we see?
Depends how the rest of the season goes and how it gets ran. In all honesty, that's the big thing. If guys still see stuff changing and they just don't like the way it's going, especially if you're not going to implement what you created to start the league, people aren't going to like that stuff. Just keeps changing, and you might see a huge drop off. So I don't know. I know we still got a good amount of loyal D2D guys from back in the day in there. So I don't know. I mean, you got 2 that are fucking hanging it up after this, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, do I think more are gonna pull it? Like, yeah, I think like for instance, Bob. I think Bob might be on his last legs there. He's just gonna ride out the Xfinity car. You have fun there because it seems like he's been having a blast there, and then he'll probably call it. Samo, I don't think Samo's done racing. Samo's a very, very fun competitive person. He's not just out there to win. FYI, he's not just out there to win. He's out there
He
to
just does it more often than not.
correct because he's consistent. It's Samo we're talking about. He was always consistent as fuck, and you had to be him or be with him. You had to do the same shit he did, or at least try to outsmart him. So, yeah, I don't know who else is gonna hang it up. You're probably looking at maybe 1, maybe 2 more, but I don't know how well that's gonna go.
Alright, and the last one for the night. Does Rick Hendrick re-sign Alex Bowman with his vertigo taking him out 3 more races at least?
No, just give it up. Just Hendrick, no, please. The guy, he's not really performing when he's in the car. If you want to be honest, so I'd like to see
Well,
that 48 back competitive.
With that being said, who fills his seat?
Good question.
I honestly think it's one of those that it's a rough situation for Bowman, one with the vertigo, but he had some really big shoes to fill, from the get go, with having to take over from Jimmy Johnson.
Speaking of Jimmy Johnson, I'm pretty sure he just bought another charter off of, I think it was Rick Ware Racing. So that's another seat that opens up in the Toyota shop. Silly season's going to be fun, boys.
I would have liked to seen Hendrick grab Hocevar.
They'd have to pay at least 3 arms and a leg, if not 2 legs.
You don't think Hendricks ain't got that type of money?
Oh, well, we know they got that type of money, but
I'm just saying that's who I would like to see. It won't happen, but I'd like to see him running with Hendricks.
if there was one guy I had to choose, it'd honestly be Jesse Love in Xfinity to drive that 48, but I don't think he's going to be coming out of RCR.
Who's the guy that drives the Hendrick truck?
Corey Day or Raja.
Yeah. Well, bring him up. See what he got.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already seen. I mean, he's good.
Yeah, Rasha's
Why
fucking
not?
decent, man.
So why not give him a shot?
hmm
But with that being,
no, go ahead.
go for it.
I just don't know if Raja is gonna be like cup level good. I think he'll do decent in Xfinity Series, like an Allgaier, but he should stay there.
With Raja, I feel like it's kind of a development thing. I feel like if they pulled him up this season, that he'll be a Riley Herbst, and not many people think of 23XI as a fucking 3-car racing team because Riley Herbst is just that ass.
Yes. He should have
Yeah.
stayed down where he was. He should have never been called up. I feel bad for the guy because he does not have the talent to compete with the level that's in the Cup Series right now.
Well, it's not really talent that pays for your seat anymore.
Amen.
That sponsorship money.
Yep, sponsorship money and who you know. That's a big thing.
Yup. That's why I ain't in Cup right now. But
There's a lot of other reasons why. We'll skip past that.
yeah, we could go ahead and skip past that. Mike,
Yeah.
it's your turn, buddy.
All right. Well, my new segment is Mike's Track Attack. So basically, I'm gonna give y'all information on the tracks that we will be running, and the first two are gonna be the All-Star races for the Xfinity and for the Cup side. First, with the Xfinity, their All-Star race is going to be brought to you at Rockingham, and which is going to be a very interesting race. I wish I was running Rockingham, but I'm not in Xfinity. And in that race, there's 125 laps. And I don't know, are we running stages?
That's a very good question. We're gonna have
Or
to
is it
get
gonna
with
be
management on that one because even we don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, it's going to be a good race. And the Cup side, the All Star race is going to North Wilkesboro, and that also is a 125 lap race. Again, don't know if we're running stages or just flat out 125 laps, which I kind of would just see what it's like to run 125 laps and
Straight.
the
Fuck it.
best man win.
Let's throw a lap 62 mandatory caution.
Yeah.
We'll have Michael Waltrip drop the flag on the track.
But in all honesty, I think both All Star races is going to be very fun if you're watching or participating. Hopefully, I can pick up a win in North Wilkesboro, which I probably won't because I run in a league with Samo. But yeah,
Well, I mean, you can't say that because I mean anything can happen, you know.
Mike, if you were to pick a win up, it'd probably be the one that don't count for shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But in all, that's our next two races, All Star races. Should be fun.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be interesting as hell. I'm excited for both tracks. Don't know how I don't know how stuff's gonna go about. Like you said, we don't know if we're running stages or what the case may be, but it's probably gonna be really fucking interesting. And we're going to two old ass tracks, and man, Rockingham was a blast to drive in the ARCA car. So in the Xfinity car, I'm sure that's gonna be fucking crazy. In North Wilkesboro with the Cup cars, just they fit those cars very well. So They have a lot of grip. That track doesn't have a lot of grip right now as it is. So that should be an intense battle. And you're going to see the guys that can fucking wheel a car completely sideways go out in front and lead the thing because that's what it's going to take. But Mike,
kill to the point.
yeah, kill to the point. I would love to see it. Hey, it's an all-star race. If you want to go out there and win it, I'm gonna give you everything I got. So go out there and get it. But that Mike, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of us. Thanks for coming in here and adding a new segment layer to the show. We really appreciate it. I know there wasn't a crazy amount to go over for your segment this week just because it's just all-star races, but we got more to come in the future. We're gonna be covering more shit and seeing where stuff goes and keeping on top of things and seeing how everything in the league gets represented and implemented, and we'll see what happens. But before we leave here, of course, always I give a shout out to Bob over at First Place Auto Glass. If you are over in Jamestown, New York, or anywhere near that place, hit the man up for your wiper blades and your glass needs for your auto glass. It's great. If you guys have serious inquiries for the man and live around the area, First Place Auto Glass at yahoo.com. Email him, check him out. Bob's a great guy. He's an awesome dude. He'll do whatever you need. Also, once again, head over to www.w.gg. Use your promo code TEMP26 and get 10% off your order. Or if you don't feel like using my code, we got another one for you because Big Mike's sponsored by him as well. Fuel the grind with W Energy. Energy, focus, zero crash. Big Mike Jr., D-Go. w.gg/discount/Big Mike Jr. Go there, save 10% off. Also, check out Mike's handles. He's on TikTok, he's on Twitch, he's got a YouTube. Go check him out on all three of them. Mike posts some cool shit, especially some of his shorts. He'll post racing clips, football clips, whatever. Whatever that dude does, he posts it, and it's worth a watch with a lot of that stuff he's got going on. But guys, we have ended another show. This one ran long. There was a lot to talk about in the beginning, but appreciate everyone coming in. Everyone at least giving, of course, the thing a view, a like, a follow, whatever you do. It's appreciated. We do this stuff because we find it fun. We don't do it for anybody else. We do it for ourselves. So that's a big thing. Guys, there's 4 of us this time. Can we nail it?
Oh fuck! No, I'm here. What?
The pressure's on, Shiesty, because we did damn good last week.
All right.
On my mark. So once I say 3, we're jumping straight to it. 1,
Okay.
2, 3. To
be continued.
I think that was pretty fucking good.
That was pretty good.
We'll have to listen back to that. But all right, everybody, we're done here for tonight. Have a good night, and we'll catch y'all next week.